Alright, so here we are again with another edition of Dark Souls 101. Here we are at the top of Sen's Fortress, where I got to in the last episode. Off camera, I went down to the Undead Burg again, into Blighttown again. Farmed up a bunch of green Titanite shards, just so I can demonstrate the different weapon properties through the upgrading paths. The top of Sen's Fortress is actually a really good farm zone for small Titanite shards and large Titanite shards. We'll just do one quick run of the fortress here. Small shard. And of course I'm with 5 humanity and the gold covetous ring that I'm wearing. It really boosts your chance to get these shards to get your equipment into a better usable state. Another thing I did off camera, oh, he's got loot for me, is I went and I upgraded one of the katanas that I had, the Itao. Its damage isn't as much as the halberd, but its attacks are much faster, with a lot less I'm going to say weapon recovery time. There's no stat to increase weapon recovery time, it's all based on the weapon you're using. Now, Sen's Fortress is also a great place for invasions. So if you're human up in Sen's Fortress while you're farming, be prepared to be invaded a lot. And I'm going to do a couple of invasions on this playthrough, or in this episode anyway, just to get the feel for how they would go. I can't remember if I've killed Richard or not. Yeah. Oh, there's the sound of an invasion. So we're gonna have a fight on our hands from Dark Spirit Razlith, or Razlith, however it is. Yeah, I've killed Richard and looted these chests already. So with that invader coming in, I'm gonna switch out my rings real quick here. Put my hat back on just for the added defense. And what these green blossoms do is increases my stamina regeneration. So I'll be able to swing more and more often. So we'll eat one of those. Now, usually for PvP, you want to have humanity equipped as well. Humanity is a full heal if you use it. And somebody doesn't want me healing, apparently. Yep. And that there is a spell from much, much later in the game called the Dark Flame. And that was probably from a +3 or 5 Ascended Pyromancer's Flame. So again, the people I seem to find in my invasions have either farmed for a very, very long time, or they have friends that help them out and just drop items for them, so they can have completely overpowered gear and whatnot in these invasions. It's not a very nice way to play the game at all. In fact, it's an incredibly cowardly way to play the game. But to each their own. And right where the Dark Wraith killed me is my souls. Pick those back up. Now, even blocking with my shield, it did most of my health bar to block that one attack. You know that person is completely overpowered when that happens. You can see I still don't have quite enough for a level, and my stat spread on this character is quite sparse. Actually, with this build, what I might try and do for about level 60, when I get there, I'm going to try and build for what's called Artorias' Greatsword. Yes, I'm going to try for Artorias' Greatsword. And Artorias' Greatsword is a very hard weapon to get to wield until very late game, or unless you specifically try for it. That snake is an easy 500 souls, every time. But if you kill him while he's up on the platform without kicking him off, there's a good chance that he might drop you a Flamberge. The Flamberge is sort of unique in its sense, as it's the only greatsword, I believe, that has bleed. That's what I wanted. Now, it usually takes me about 3 hits of the halberd to drop one of these Boulder Knights with a magic halberd. The Antau, even with a backstab, he's not going to drop in one. That's because neither of my stats for this weapon are very high at this time. But nevertheless, a 313 damage backstab is okay. And Dark Souls isn't a game about, this is number one, it's the best, it's always going to win. There's no such thing. Dark Souls is a game of balance and trade-off. You want a fast weapon? It's not going to do a whole lot of damage in a single hit, unless you buff it up. There's different types of buffs. You can smith a buff into a sword by making it magic, enchanted, fire, what have you. Or you can use the resins on a plus 15 weapon. Let's see, where are they? Do I have any? Just to show? Ah, there we go. The gold pine resin is one of the ones you can use, and it applies lightning. And there's another style of buff as well, and those come from sorcery or miracles. And you can apply it through just casting a spell on your weapon, and it takes effect for a little bit of a limited time. Oh, that's a good pickup. Most of the steel armor set there. And I know me running around the top of the fortress here is a little boring, but I'm just trying to get a few things out of the way. Now, you're not allowed to invade another player unless you're in human form. At least with these cracked red eye orbs. Once I make it to Anor Londo, I might join the Covenant for the Dark Moon Blade to get the blue orb, or the Vengeance orb, so you can invade the Guilty. So, say you get invaded by a red phantom. The merchant in the Undead Parish chapel sells an item called Indictments. And with them you can indict a player that has invaded and killed you. And he gets added to the Book of the Guilty. And what the blue orb does is, when you use it, if there's a guilty player in the vicinity, you will invade him or her. And your whole goal is to take the target down, as normal. However, at the end, you don't get humanity like you would if you're a red phantom. You get a souvenir of reprisal. Oops, didn't want to use that. And the souvenir of reprisal is a Covenant turn-in, like the Eye of Death, or humanity for some Covenants. You turn in a certain amount, and you will get Covenant rewards, such as a unique talisman or spell. And I don't intend to do that many invasions to get everything in the game to show you everything. It's not going to be that kind of tutorial / walkthrough. And while I'm searching for a world to invade, with the cracked red eye orb there, you're free to wander around and clear out your world. Of course, while you're searching to invade, you can be invaded again in return. Now, I really need to work on my character's endurance. Oh, no worlds for me to invade just now. So, let's try again. Now, when you do invade a world, it's not like you suddenly become your normal self. All the spells that you had cast, all the health that you were missing, comes with you in that invasion. So you have to be careful about what you're invading and the supplies you have with you. Oh, there we go. The invasion's on. This is probably not going to go very well because, again, I'm not the best at PvP, but we'll see how I could do here. And we spawn in. This particular player seems to have not killed off the giant up top yet. And this player's name is Nomjutsu. Interesting. Not exactly sure where he's going to be hiding. Actually, while we're playing this game of hide and seek, I'm going to equip humanity so I have at least a heal while I'm in here. It seems he's a little afraid of me and decided to summon in help. This is not going to go well for me. Oh, he's got Iron Tarkus with him. Phantom Iron Tarkus is a NPC phantom that's able to be summoned by everybody at any time, offline or online. But he's a very powerful phantom. And he wears a very good armor set. Not to mention he's got a very high degree of attack. Oh, come on, Tarkus, let's go. Start your attack. Come on, Tarkus. Now, he's apparently going to hide behind Tarkus, but if he did proceed through the fog wall, I would be summoned back home. Oh, that's a good backstab. And I believe she's using the lightning spear. Thankfully, Tarkus is also fairly slow in the head. Come on, Tarkus. Come on, buddy. Oh, too bad. Nope, that's a normal spear. To be enchanted like that. That is magic weapon, enchantment. Possibly greater magic weapon if she's rescued Logan. Tarkus also seems to have a high degree of health. Come on, Tarkus. Come on, buddy. And over the ledge you go. I'm going to two-hand my weapon here. Oh, there's the bleed effect. kicking in. She's been blocking too long against my katana. And down she goes. And for my hard work, I got 664 souls, and I gain a humanity. And that's how invasions are done. It's through the cracked red eye orb there. And yes, I've taken it off the bar. So, with that, I'm going to go try and save Logan, because I'm intending to have sorcery on this character as well as pyromancy. By making my my weapons the magic element, it increases their damage through intelligence as well. Gonna hide from that guy with the lightning for a second. Okay, he's just gonna flop over dead after getting back up. Scared him to death. How do you like me now? But after completing an invasion, you get a full heal, you get your full complement of spells back. So killing an enemy player is a good way to just keep chaining into another enemy player. Now, Logan is on the other side of that sleeping snake. And the only way to get to him is through using the giant ball trap here to break open that door. There's also another item over here that I'm going to want. Oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good at all. And you can see how quickly the flamberge there cranked up my bleed meter and killed me. It is a very versatile greatsword. So I'm gonna have to fight my way all the way back over there to get my souls and humanity back. The souls I'm not too worried about. There's always more souls. The loss of humanity is always bad. Cuts it to my drop rate. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, every NPC in the game you can get their suit of armor. There's only one I haven't found, and that is the cleric knights that surround the maiden. Where'd our friend go? He's usually here. Huh. Took off on me. I'm not exactly sure where it dropped my souls. Of course, it's halfway up the ramp. Now the item I want is just down there. So you kind of have to fall to get this one. Take a little bit of damage. So if you're low on health, make sure you heal up first before trying for the Shotel. Now you can see them take additional damage. And the difference between Pyromancy and Chaos Pyromancy is the Chaos Pyromancy leaves short-lived little lava blobs on the ground. So anybody that walks over them takes damage. However, you have to pay for that extra damage by giving up an extra attune slot to equip Chaos Pyromancies. And it just came to my attention that my mic may have been muted for this entire stream for the past 20 minutes. Oh, that's really annoying. I've been talking to myself. Okay. So, now that my mic is working again, I think. Invasions! Let's cover these again. And if I had any kind of editing software, you can bet your bottom dollar that I would edit out the last 20 minutes. But anyway, invasions are done via the cracked red-eye orb. Looks like I'm going to have to do another one. I commentated that entire fight, too. So anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to be rescuing the advanced sorcery trainer named Logan. And to do that, you have to adjust the big ball trap so that it breaks down a wall down there. And if my mic was working before, I apologize for repeating myself. I also apologize if I have muted myself as well. But if I've muted myself, you guys won't hear that anyway. Anyway, moving on. We'll just shift the ball trap. The trap kicks the ball down the ramp, and it smashes through the wall. And you can leave the ball trap there for a little bit, so it weakens the snake man that's down there for you. Now, last thing you want is to be playing dodgeball, so adjust the trap back. And you're free to come down here and rescue Logan, provided you have the cage key, which you needed to open up the shortcut to the top of Sense Fortress. And if I covered that off camera, I believe I might have, so I'm going to do it again, just to show you where it is. And there's Logan.
You seem quite lucid. A rare thing in these times. I am Logan. I'm a bit cooped up, as you can see. I have a bright idea. Suppose you set me free. I'm old and empty-handed, but I could repay you with knowledge and sorcery. This place is melting my mind. The inactivity is repressive.
So we're going to let Logan out of his cage here.
Oh, heavens. Thank you. I'm safe, and I'd love to resume my travels. But I must log a few things first, and I owe you a favor. I will return to Farthing Shrine. Speak with me there, so that I may impart my sorcery.
Another thing I did off camera is, with the souls I was acquiring down in Blighttown, I bought the upgraded versions of the soul arrows. Great Soul Arrow and Great Heavy Soul Arrow. And you can see, next to uses, that the more powerful a spell gets, the less casts of it you're allowed to have. I also acquired a couple of other little spells here, Oral Decoil and Fall Control. They're useful little utility spells, but not really necessary. But in addition to rescuing Logan, you can open this cage back here. And in this cage is one of the best souls in the game, the Soul of a Hero. And breaking that will give you 10,000 souls. And rather than try and claw my way all the way back to the top of the fortress, I'm just going to take the shortcut back up. And I have to get human again. Quick little falling shortcut here. Back in the cage trap. And we'll not pass up an easy 500 souls. Now, the rapier guys, whenever they come charging in like that, they're always going to have a not parryable stab. It also doesn't stun them like his normal attack would if it bounces off a shield. So when he comes charging in, don't open up right away after blocking his first attack. And we'll take a jump across here. And that's an easy jump to make, really. Every now and again I mess up and roll off the edge. But as you can see down there, there's a corpse. And on that corpse is a sniper crossbow. It's an interesting crossbow if you're into the crossbow kind of game. There's a merchant here that sells all kinds of interesting gear. Mainly heavy armor and big weapons. He also sells the green herb, black fire bombs, but most importantly he sells green titanite shards, and he's the only merchant in the game that does that. He sells the other two versions of shards as well, the small and large shards. But he sells them at an inflated price compared to the other blacksmith in the Undead Church. The cage key, the one that opens up the shortcut, and Logan, is on this corpse here. Now the weapon that I picked up, the shotel, or shotel, depending on how you feel like announcing it. Where are you? Is a unique type of weapon. It's an EC scaling weapon, so it's actually pretty good for my build if I were to build it into a magic shotel, but it's an interesting thing. You cannot shield guard against the shotel. You can parry it, you can dodge it, but you cannot block it. So it makes for a very good gank weapon, especially against the spear user I'd faced earlier who turtled behind her shield. That would have been a very good weapon to have against her. Don't want to go too fast over that ledge, or every now and again you hit those spikes and fall off the ledge. And I'm going to repair my equipment. Reverse my hollowing. And we're going to face the first boss of the day, the Iron Golem. Actually, I'm going to do a few things as well. I'm going to take off Great Chaos Fireball to free up some attunement slots, and replace it with Fire Orb and a Fireball. And we'll just skip fighting all the little minions for this run. And after I beat the Golem, I'm going to split off from the main storyline path that you normally progress through to open up a secret covenant called the Dark Wraiths. And to do that, you have to beat the bosses in not a super specific order, but you have to do a somewhat specific order. Oh, there's a good amount of drops. Thank you. And here I could summon another player, but as we all know, my Nat type doesn't really allow me to do that. So I'm going to run across here and summon our friend Tarkus. He doesn't mind that I was stabbing him in the back earlier. And Tarkus is usually powerful enough to beat this boss on his own. You can just kind of sit back and watch him go to work. But that could take a little bit longer than if I help him. So I'm going to mix it up with this boss as well. Let's go. His first attack is always that air blade style of attack. As long as you're behind this pile of rubble, you're okay. Now the Iron Golem's got fairly basic attacks. He's got a stomp. It hurts a little bit. You can see just the chunks Tarkus takes out of his health. The Golem also has a grab attack that you need to really watch out for. Especially if you're fighting with a teammate. He also gets the animation immunity that you normally would if you were in a backstab animation. If you block the Iron Golem's attacks, it will knock you back. So be careful where your edges are. And if you do enough damage to his legs with a melee weapon, you will topple him over, as Tarkus is working on right now. And I'm just going to sit back here and light him up. And there we have the core of an Iron Golem. And that's good. Now, the Iron Golem's worth a good amount of souls, 40,000. So a good practice would be to go back to the bonfire and spend them right away. Especially if you're in human form, because you don't want to lose them to silly deaths, like I did earlier. However, since I'm a silly individual, I'm going to press on. No, I'm not. I'm chickening out. Actually, rather than spend these at the bonfire, I'm probably going to want to spend these either on spells from Logan or to increase my intelligence. Or possibly faith. And normally I wouldn't increase my faith, but since I want to go for Artorias' greatsword, I'm so conflicted right now. Running around in circles. Yes, that's what we'll do. We'll go back to this bonfire over here, recharge my spells, and I'm going to pump a lot of points into faith. And it's not going to help me right here and now, but it will help me later for getting the weapon that I want. In fact, these are almost wasted points right now because it's not going to help me increase any of my damage output or my survivability. Well, that's not exactly true. Over on the middle pane, you can see that even increasing a useless stat will give me more defense. So I'll be harder to kill. And we'll put these away. Actually, I'm going to put the humanity back on. Because before I go, I want to try invading another player. I found that very fun. And you can see, against a normal player, one that doesn't have completely overpowered gear, that player could have actually stood a very good chance against me. Except she let her apprehension get ahead of her, and didn't want to attack me at all. But, fortunately, if you don't kill your opponent, you're just going to die in the end. So attacking is the only way you have out of any form of PvP fight in this. You have to kill your opponent. You can't turtle behind a shield. Well, you can, but make sure it's a tactical turtle. Make them waste their stam bar against your shield. And after they're out of stamina, you can come back and lay the smackdown back on them. Muhammad Ali called that the rope-a-dope. Still used today. It's still awesome. Now, I don't have my Chaos Fireball equipped this time, so I won't be able to trap them with lava, like I was trying to do in the first invasion there. But my plus 10 Pyromancy Flame is going to be more than enough for a casual player. So I'm going to actually start making my way over to the Great Forest again. I'm going to kill one more boss in there, and I'll probably say see you for this episode after that. But that's still a good amount of time from now, so not to really promise anything, but I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter. Oh, there we go. And I hope this player has a good amount of souls on them. Yeah, since that little archer is dead. Yeah, there he is. Oh, he pussied out. He saw me coming and he Alt F4'd his game, which actually costs me my cracked eye orb, and I don't get any benefit from it. Cheap move, dude. Cheap move. But that's what happens. Some people just dislike PvP that much that they have to Alt F4 out of the game. I figure it's just part of the game. You win some, you lose a lot. Well, that's me. You might win a lot. But in the end, a Dark Wraith invasion is just part of the game. Deal with it. If he kills you, he kills you. It's not a big deal. Didn't want to go without those souls. And what we're going to do is make our way to the Dark Root Basin. A little bit of a hike. But there's a lot of back and forth if you want the Dark Wraith Covenant. If I didn't want it, I could easily just ignore what I'm doing right now and just keep proceeding through the game. But in order to unlock it, you have to do a more advanced fight before you're ready for it, pretty well. Don't tase me, bro. In an earlier episode, we were already in the Darkroot Basin, where I killed Havel the Rock and got his ring. And Havel's ring is very good for any heavy plate type of character. It allows you to increase... getting tongue-tied. It allows you to have a higher equipment burden. It gives you, I believe, 50% more on every stamina point you put into your equipment load. So for every point of stamina, you usually gain 1 carry weight. But if you increase that with Havel's ring, you get 50% more carry weight for the stam points you have. While I'm here, I'm going to try using up all these cracked red eye orbs as I go along, just for increased soul gain or humanity. I'm going to backtrack a little bit here, so I'm not sure. Back this way there's a bonfire you can get to, but it's guarded by a black knight, as these messages will tell you. Not sure if I killed him on this character or not. Oh, I'm going in. And before my invasion comes through, I'm going to use one of my Estus flasks to put myself at full health for the upcoming invasion. I don't have any of my powerful pyromancies equipped, so I'm gonna switch over to Great Combustion. See if I can find where this guy's hiding. He's probably back here by the secret bonfire. Seeing as all these trees are still alive. And unfortunately the world still reacts to your presence as well as the players. Oh, nope, this guy hasn't discovered the secret bonfire. So, we could be a friendly Dark Wraith and show him where it is. Open up that secret passage for him. We'll come down here. See if our good friend is down this way. Hiding somewhere. Nope, he's not here. So, he must be down the other way. Darkroot's kind of a big place. Lots of places to hide. But it's good that this character has an Alt F4 to his game. So, he's either confident in his PvP ability, thinks he could get the drop on me, maybe. And honestly, he's got a pretty good chance of that. Or he's waiting until he sees me. In which case he might still Alt F4. It's a common practice on the PC version. I very much dislike when people do that. Oh, he hasn't killed this crystal lizard yet either. You can see that little white glow down there? That's a crystal lizard. Unless he came through the master key. With the master key, you can come in through Havel's room. Oh, I'm not allowed to kill the lizard on him. Darn. That'd be a mean move right there. But yeah, with the master key, you can come in through Havel's room from the Undead Berg, if you have that. So, he really could be anywhere. Well, it seems he's aggroed these golems. And he has a very powerful Pyromancer Flame to be doing 635 damage. Oh, yeah. See if we can run him out. Of pyromancies and casts, because that seems to be what he does. Seems he's got a lot of them. And we'll just range his pyromancy here. It's a lot of casts of fire orb he's got. And combustion. Yep. That's far more than any character should have. He is hacking. Again, you get 16 casts of combustion, but if he's hitting a 600 damage combustion, that's just not cool. Oh, I forgot to rest out a bonfire nearby, so this is going to be an epic hike back to get my souls and humanity. But you can see, even dying in an invasion, you retain your human form. So that was about 2 attunement slots of Fire Whip, 2 attunement slots of Fire Orb, or possibly Grateful Fireball, and 2 attunement slots, well, maybe 1 attunement slot of Combustion. Although I believe that was Greater Combustion to be doing 600 damage. Or he has a very ascended Pyromancer Flame. Or, you know, he's just hacking. That happens, unfortunately, in games for people that don't have any skill. Not saying he was, I'm just saying that's suspicious. Alright, real quick, we're just gonna rest at this bonfire so we don't make that mistake again. I was gonna rest at the one down there, but I invaded before I got there. Just gonna check something here. So yeah, I have 600 and some HP. So even when I blocked his attack with my shield, it did a majority of my health bar. Meanwhile, it should have been doing 70% less from where my shield blocked it. I'm not saying he dead-angled me, because he couldn't have. I heard the shield ding, as I'm sure you all did too. I hate hacking bitches. Continuing on, I'm gonna let that drop. Oh, I remember something I forgot. Nope, don't have any. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back to the Lower Undeadburg Merchant, the creepy female behind the bars there. And this is going to be one of those days. Actually, I'm not going to walk all the way back. That's to that. These things do have a lot of uses if you're creative. And by increasing my faith, I'm now able to use miracles, as well as pyromancy, as well as sorcery. So I'm going to have a very well-rounded mage-type character. That's going to be able to use a wide variety of tricks. Titanite shards, always useful. Just checking a few things here. Ah, welcome back.
Your Highness, where have you gone? I am entirely to blame for this. Oh, woe is me. I am unworthy, deathly so. Oh, I'm sorry. Miracles, was it?
Now, at the start of the game,
Sometimes I lose myself.
Thorvald here
Pay me
wants
no
you
mind.
to join a covenant before he will sell you miracles. You still have the option to join the covenant, but now we can just buy miracles. This later on in the game. And you can see Thorvald's talisman here is different than the normal one, because it has a much higher base magic adjustment. However, it only scales C with your faith, where the normal talisman will scale B with your faith. But since we found a normal talisman in a box already, I won't buy that. Instead, I'll come down here and I'm going to buy the Homeward spell, which replaces the Homeward bone. And you can see over here.
Oh, hello again. I was waiting to tell you. Master Logan has returned, and he tells me that he has you to thank. Well, we are both in your debt now. Thank you, sincerely. He's just over there. Go along and have a chat.
Now, I'm going to crack these souls I have here. Oh, seems I've been doing that already. But every little bit helps.
There you are. I was expecting you. As promised, I will share my sorceries.
Logan's sorceries are awesome, by the way. And you can see here he sells a lot of what Griggs sold, but he's got 2 unique spells in his inventory here. And it costs you 60,000 souls to buy them both, but they're both well worth the cost. He also has Magic Weapon and Magic Shield. And these are 2 very useful buff spells. And I'm sure you can understand what they do. Magic Weapon applies magic to your right-hand weapon. So if you have your Catalyst in your left hand, you can cast Magic Weapon on your right hand. And depending on your intelligence, the damage buff will scale. Magic Shield increases your shield's magic resistance and stability. So if you have your Catalyst in your right hand, you can enchant your shield. So having a Catalyst in either hand for your second slot can be helpful. However, if you ever put a weapon away, like switch out the slot, so say I have a dagger and a longsword on my right hand, I enchant the longsword and switch to the dagger, that enchantment is now lost when I pull the longsword back out, even if it's just for half a second. And I'm gonna buy, actually,
No results.
I need more attunement slots, first and foremost. Or I could use more faith, but I forgot that this bonfire is dead. So, we'll re-equip our Estus Flask here, and continue on with what I was doing. He can fly! These guys with the fire bombs that hide up on ledges and stuff, they have always bothered me. But thankfully, they're easy to deal with. And down he goes. This is a completely unupgraded longbow, but the damage difference between it and a shortbow is insane. Especially if you're putting points into dexterity. Since the lowest scaling a bow would get on dexterity is an A. I'm just collecting up a few souls here. Because what I need are the poison arrows sold by that specialty vendor. And why am I coming across here? Risking this tightrope walk? Well, it's for this guy right here. And this. A ring of sacrifices are always welcome. But him. This guy is awesome.
Aye, Shemai. I didn't expect to meet anybody here. I suppose great minds think alike, eh?
As long as you've talked to him down in Blighttown, or the entrance to Blighttown, he becomes a specialty merchant. And he could sell you some very unique things, such as the Master Key. Very helpful item if you didn't start with it. He also sells gold pine resin, which is great. He has his assortment of crystal gear. He's got standard ammunition, but he's also got the specialty vendor for different armor sets. He's got his own, which he starts with in the entrance to Blighttown, but since I've killed the Iron Golem at the top of Sen's Fortress, he also sells the Iron Golem set, which has a fairly good amount of defense on it. It's heavy, but you can see there it's got a lot of poise, and a lot of poison and bleed resist.
Well, that is a shame then. But no matter. No, not to worry. Come back again. I'm always available. Not every trade was meant to be. There'll be more in store for us. Someday. Sometime.
And by more in store he means unique armor sets from certain bosses that you kill. And I have seen so many players mess up that jump. If you die making that jump, don't feel too bad, a lot of people do it. You're probably thinking, this is a really long run just to get some poison arrows. It's a very difficult fight that's easily avoided if you have proper equipment and a little bit of time.
You left me high and dry for a while there. I thought maybe you'd forgotten about me. Are you back from my moss then?
Nobody wants her moss.
Yeah, freshly peeled, just for
And you don't want to buy like too many of these, At least not for your first playthrough. They're still kind of expensive at 100 souls each. I'll buy 50 of them. Or I'll hit cancel. I can afford 133, but I'm only going to buy 50. And 50 should be more than enough for this playthrough.
Come again, if you please.
And how that works is you have 2 slots in your quiver for 2 different types of arrows. I'll just break out this bow here. And pushing the trigger buttons, the lower trigger buttons, so R2 or L2 if you're on PlayStation, switches between the ammunition type in the bottom left there. You can see next to my bow. And I'm going to stab this rat just to see if he might have a humanity for me. Which he does not. Oh well. It's a rare drop. And now that I have the proper equipment, I can be off. Now, after I get to where I want to go, I'm going to save those souls and come back here. And buy a certain ring from Griggs to increase my sorceries. But it also increases my pyromancy casts as well, so it's a good ring to have. And since my character's on a medium roll already, the added weight of me carrying a longbow in my inventory as well isn't gonna kill me. Just means I have to get a few more points into endurance to get back to the fast roll. Or what I could do is take off the wolf ring and equip Havel's ring to see if that makes a difference. And yes, it does. Also means I can run a little bit quicker. So if you're looking to get from point A to point B, you're always looking to have the least amount of equipment load you can, so you get that increased movement speed, just to save on time. And again, I'm going to rest at this bonfire, just to set that as my save point, in case the unforeseeable happens. Just checking on something here. Nope, I haven't bought the crest yet. Now you don't want to miss this back switch here and accidentally walk off the ledge. I find it hard not to play, not on camera. So I might start making more episodes more quickly, because I'm starting to like this character. Starting to like this character a lot. Obviously not my first, but nevertheless, kind of get attached to the characters you're playing. This cave continues on past this bonfire to an elevator which drops down into the Valley of the Drakes. And they're not very big dragons, they're just little guys about, 3 times the size of a person. But they are incredibly powerful and they use the lightning element. So if you're going down there to farm for dragon scales, which they have a very rare chance to drop, make sure you pack some lightning resist gear. You know that I've saved at that bonfire. I'm going to try my luck here again. See if I can find that guy. Get some vengeance. Now these crystal golems here are very resistant to sorcery and the magic element. So my magic Itao and my magic halberd aren't going to really affect these guys as much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pyromancy on them. And if my invasion goes through, I'll rely on my weapon. Another thing these crystal golems drop is blue titanite chunks, which is required for the second reinforcement of magic weapons. Oh, seems I was spotted. You can see way down there the big magic balls that are coming for me from the mouth of a hydra. I'm just gonna take cover behind this hill here. And I want to wipe out all these golems so they're not going to stand in my way or shank me in the back or anything like that while I'm trying to deal with this hydra. You can see that I'm striking the golem, but since it's so far away, I'm not dealing any damage. Oh, there we go. Here he comes. Come on. Yes, the big crystal on his back is out. Not actually a hit zone. No blue titanite chunks for me this time. So, we're going to proceed along to the hydra here. You're going to want to take cover behind some of the terrain on your approach. You're also going to want to be in light to medium equip. If you're trying to run through here in plate, you're not going to make it. And I just got tagged. That's not going to be good. Because those water balls do home. There we go. Successfully blocked that hydra head. I'm going to pick this up while I'm here. Break out my sword, and once the hydra's there, get chopping. Thankfully this isn't like the Hercules Hydra, where if you cut off his head, he gets more. And this corpse right here, where that knight was standing, is the sweet spot. You only have to really deal with one head coming for you at a time. And once you take off one or two heads, it's a perfectly safe spot to just stand. And as he slams his heads into the earth there, just keep watch at where they go. Oh. If you're on the bank there, he'll try and hit you with the water balls. But as long as you're in the water, he can't hit you with the water balls. The main problem is this water is deep enough to hinder your character's movement. Now, for his last head, he'll never actually stick it into the ground behind you. It's always going to be arcing in front of you that way. Now, there's two ways to deal with this. You could try and hit it with a spell while it's sitting in front of you, such as Fireball or Soul Arrow or anything like that. Like that. Which is a little bit hard to do some days. But I'm tagging him there. Or, if you have a lot of decks, you can break out a bow and start just chipping away at him. And he drops you a dragon scale, even though he's not really a dragon. And a ring, which is helpful for casters, because it grants you extra sorcery castings, but, like the Bane to everything, it halves your HP. Which doesn't work out well. Everybody needs HP. So unless you're rocking a very high vitality sorcerer, I would not suggest wearing that ring. Now, I'm not sure if that ring would actually increase the amount of sorceries or pyromancies I have. Yes, it does. Okay, that now explains why that character had so many casts. I apologize to him and his family and everything that he knows for calling him a hacker. But you can see that once you lose half your HP to the ring, it stays gone, even if you take the ring off. And that Hydra's worth a fair amount of souls. But we're going to keep pressing forward. Somebody's trying to ward me off from the area. And in truth it is. Because just up on this side is the Cat Covenant, or the Hunter Covenant forest. And in that forest you are fair game, if you are alive, for Covenant members. Joining the Covenant gives you a specific ring, and anytime a living player enters the forest, the ring, if you're wearing it, automatically summons you into an invasion on that player. So it's a really useful item to have for, if you like, just mixing it up, PvP, stuff like that. That's the PvP forest. However, the Hunter Covenant also has a specific merchant. And if I keep going up there, I'm just going to get invaded and killed. But there's a specific merchant for the PvP Covenant there, the Hunter Covenant, that sells some unique gear. His name is Shiva. He only pops out once you join the Covenant. Now you can see what I'm doing here is I'm going to poison those two large cat-like enemies to death. It's going to take a little while, so feel free to time skip ahead. But in the long run, trying to face all three of those cat enemies, yes there are three of them, is just suicide. Unless you have a very high endurance, high vitality character with a very good great shield. Oh, there's number 3. And for number 3, since he doesn't stay still very long, you can't get the necessary 2 shots into him. So you can just kind of chip away at him a little bit here and there with normal standard arrows. Which are thankfully very cheap. So you can miss a ton of shots, it doesn't matter. just every now and again, take a look back, and it's around the 550 mark that the poison will wear off. It takes 2 or 3 poisonings to kill the cats. It takes 2 full poisonings and a fraction of another to kill one of these cats. And of course, if you're feeling brave, by all means, go up there and fight them. I choose not to. Oh, over the top. And even, you know, the 26 or 30 damage I do a shot stacks up eventually. And no, I'm not going to just sit here and chip this guy to death in this fashion. This is just to make it easier when I do choose to engage him. And you can see there that the poison's starting to stack up nicely. So, I'm going to shoot him again here. And, yeah, that poison's wore off. So I'll switch the quiver back to my poison arrows. Oh, missed those shots. You don't actually have to deal damage with the arrow. You just need to hit with them to put the poison effect on. And these guys are 3 arrows, I had forgot. Oh, still aiming too low. There's the poison effect. Switch back to my standard arrows. Look for my little friend here. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Keep putting it over his back through his little mane there. Oh, come on, tree. Ah, damn invisible wall tree. So, the lower cat there, you just want to kind of punch him in the face with these arrows. No aim for his back. Keep hitting invisible wall tree. That's kind of starting to get to me a little bit. Or if you just want to fight that one cat flat out, but kill the other ones quicker, feel free to just fire arrows at them instead of this guy. Now the longbow, while it does additional damage, takes longer to actually draw and fire. So the short bow is a combat archer's friend. You may not do the same amount of damage. That's different. These guys never come down. That is definitely new. I've never seen that before, ever, in all my playthroughs of this forest. Apparently they aggro if you do too much damage to that lower cat first. Because usually I have it chipped away at him that much. So this has just become much more awkward. I'm just going to hold my bow here and pick away at these cats as they come up. And much like you cannot keep the poison effect going by hitting them with a single poison arrow as they come up. You have to wait for the bar to fully, or the poison to fully run its course before you can apply it again. Now I'm not going to be able to apply it again while they're running around like this. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to have to fight the cats in a very suicide-type fashion. And the way we do this is we take a step up here to aggro them. And you can see that cannonball attack that they get. It's a very hard-hitting knockdown. And if you get all three of them doing it to you successively, you're going to die. Now, keeping yourself healed up is very important. The last thing you want is to say, oh shit, I should have healed. Or, I'm going to save this healing item for later. No, 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 you use that healing item now. Like a champ. Now, 2,000 souls is a good amount of souls, so the fight is definitely worth it. And also it appears I can't block these suckers either. So I'm going to sit down here. Summon the stupid little thing. And just poke them with arrows. Now if he does that again, I'm going to hit him with the poison arrows and just wait him out. And that's the end of him, eventually. So, we'll put the bow away. I'm going to unequip it now, because I no longer need it. And just wait for the souls to rack in. Then I'm going to go back down to the very far away bonfire to recharge my spells, and select the new ones. Because powerful enemies like these cats don't respawn, thankfully. And while I'm standing here, maybe I'll put the bow back on and just kind of help him along his death a little. It's very unfortunate, but these cats never actually drop anything. You want to hug the wall really tight, like ram your face into it here, or you fall off the ledge. Invasion in progress, I'm not allowed to run. That's not good. Since I didn't get a warning message about it, means it's a Covenant player Dark Wraith, or the invasion just isn't complete yet. Now, a way I might be able to get myself out of this happens if I try and invade another player. Now, past those cats, there's not a whole lot in this forest, up this way, except for one very valuable item, especially for a character like mine. It is the Enchanted Ember, and it's just up here on the left-hand side, but it's guarded by these giant mushroom men. Do not take them lightly. They have a ton of health, they're slow and oafy, but they hit you with that fist, it's all over for you. Oh, yeah, there we go. Dark Spirit Fluffy Orange. Interesting name. Fluffy Orange. And we'll just finish this guy off with the remainder of my pyromancy. Because since he's a plant, he's a little weak to fire. But Fireball being the most basic pyromancy spell, still not gonna finish him. There we go. Also a great source of gold pine resin. So let's see if we could find Mr. Fluffy Orange. He'll find me eventually. Now, one way Dark Wraiths find people is the damage indicators over top of mobs. So if you strike a mob and a Dark Wraith is looking in that direction, they'll know where you're at. And we'll just grab this ember. And we'll have to give that to the Magic Smith. Now what's going to happen here is I'm going to screw this guy. Because you're able to enter the boss fight. And if you enter the boss fight while you're invaded, it will send the invader home. Hi! Looks like you finded me. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'll fight you on this bridge. Let's go. Let's go, Dark Wraith. You and me. Come on. Come on. Yep. There we go. Bleed effect kicked in. Down you go. Where's my souls? There we go. Sorry, Fluffy Orange. Good fight, though. Good fight. Thank you for the humanity. Now, I'm not going to start the boss fight because I've won that encounter. And I'm going to work my way back to the bonfire to select some new magics for the upcoming fight. Now, I'd like to go all the way back to Firelink to buy Homing Crystal Soul Mass. Yeah, there's my summoning failed, as always. But again, I'd like to make it back to Firelink to buy Homing Crystal Soul Mass from Logan. It's a very useful spell. It basically encircles your character's head with 5 little soul arrows. So you can still run around and fight with a sword while these things are above your head, but the second an enemy gets within range, they'll fire at them. Epic ladder slide! Now, I'm not quite sure how long I've been recording for. I know I said I'd try to make these shorter, but fat chance on that. Once I get to gaming, I kind of want to keep gaming. But after I take down the boss of this area, I'm actually going to say, that's it. Have a good one, boys and girls, if you're watching my videos. Yep, epic run back to this bonfire. I should have just used a homeward bone. I could level up, but it's not worth it to me right now to do that. I want to save up the souls and... Well, actually, I am going to level up. Saving souls is silly. So, I'm going to get a few more points in faith. And we'll attune some magic. Well, I'm 2 faith points short of being able to equip Homeward as one of my spells. And you can see there, much like equipping a weapon, using magic you have to have necessary stats. Pyromancy, you need nothing, which makes it great for any character. All it needs is the souls into the Pyromancy glove. But I'm going to equip... Actually, I'm going to put those in a better order. Some normal magics here, some sorceries. I no longer need my bow. Thankfully, arrows don't weigh anything to equip. And my sorcerer catalyst. Can I still... Yep, I can still fast roll. Now the reason I'm taking off my Pyromancy is I'm going to want a little bit more range on this fight. And while my Pyromancy is far superior to my sorcery right now, the additional range I gain from the sorcery really makes up for it. Now, for Taurus's Greatsword, I need 24 Strength, 20 Dexterity, 20 Intelligence, and 20 Faith. And it's really hard to build a character around that, to use it the second you can, or the second you can craft it. Unless you're specifically trying for it, because nobody would build that way. They want to scale up their damage now. But the trade-off is Artorias' Greatsword has scaling stats in, I believe it's 3 of the 4 categories. It scales on, or maybe all 4. Actually, I think it's only 3. I think it scales on Strength, Dex, and Intelligence. But we'll find out the second I can craft it. So you can see from my previous fights against people that are using their shields, a bleed weapon really does come in handy. It takes a while to actually stack it up on somebody. It's not an everyday occurrence, but once you do bleed somebody, it's a lot of damage and totally worth it. And let's see if I can summon Madman 2425 in here to help me. Now, this has to be done in order to unlock the Dark Wraith Covenant. Before you get the Lord Vessel, you must kill Sif, and you must kill the 4 kings of New Londo. I'm guessing he didn't even try and get summoned in. So, let's get into this fight. It's a cutscene fight. The fog wall was actually back there at the door. But before I get into that cutscene, it's a very specific spot you have to stand. There is a treasure that hides behind the tombstone. The Hornet Ring. And the Hornet Ring boosts a weapon's critical property. So your parry, riposte, and backstabs do much more damage. That is a big sword. It's actually a very large model of Atorius' greatsword. And hello, Sif. Oh, that's not good. I can't even block. Now you can see why I wanted the range for fighting Sif. Damn it. Now that whirlwind attack usually breaks most characters' shield guard. So it's wise to just back off, let him spin, and attack from a range. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, here it comes. I want to start him into an attack animation before I try to heal. There's the whirlwind. And you just gotta keep dodging it. That's it for my great heavy soul arrows. Switching over to normal heavy soul arrows. Bouncy bastard. You can tell you're getting close to the wall edge because there's a little moat that runs around this tiny island that Sif's on. Oh, that's good. Block that one. You don't want to rush things in this game. You don't want to try and, just keep peppering out damage. Keeping yourself alive is the key. So dodge. Very important. Block, also important. You can worry about damage later. Being alive is what counts. That's it for my great arrow, huh? My normal heavy soul arrows. Oh, that's not good. See, I was getting greedy with the casts, and I got hurt for it. Now, your normal soul arrows cast much faster than your heavy soul arrows do. Oh, there we go. Now he's starting to feel the burn. Once you get Sif down to about 10% of his life remaining, he really starts to slow down. And this is the reason why you need to kill Sif, is for that ring right there, the Covenant of Vittorius. Also, 40,000 souls is really nice. Rather than run all the way back. Actually, I'll show you guys something else before I do that. Hopefully I don't get invaded, that would be bad. But even if I get invaded, I'll just make a run for it. Excuse me. It's a armor set, as well as the Covenant, that I'm going to be showing you guys. And it's a little difficult to find, because it's kind of hidden way back here in the forest. But if you pay attention to the surroundings, just kind of skirt the edge, you'll find it eventually. Yeah, there you are. Little broken down watchtower up here. But if you go around this side, treasure chest! Sneaky buggers, huh? And it's the stone armor set. Incredibly heavy, but so cool. You basically end up looking like one of the stone guardians that we saw earlier when I was fighting the Moonlight Butterfly. And over here is the Cat Covenant. So long as you don't cross that door threshold, you won't be invaded for PvP. But to join the Covenant, you have to talk to this, the only friendly cat in the forest.
Is it not so that thou art new? Thou fared well to find me, but cometh thee not for the grave of Sir Artorius? My advice true. Forget this. The legend of Artorius art none but a fabrication. Traversing the dark. 'Tis but a fairy tale. Have thine own respect. Go not yonder knocking for nothing, I say. Well, indeed.
Again,
thou
99%
art a
of the answer?
strange one.
Yes.
Nevertheless, I feel some liking for thee. I'm Alvina of the Darkroot Wood. I command a clan of hunters who track down defilers of the forest graves. What dost thou say? Wilt thou not join us? Oh, yes, I believe we would suit thee well.
I'm not going to join them right now.
Oh, I see. 'Tis a pity indeed. But this is thine stubborn choice alone. I cannot enforce it upon thee. If thine mind should be altered, forsooth speak to me once more.
You never hear a whole lot of Shakespearean speak anymore. Forsooth, what for? What now? But there's the Cat Covenant. I will probably join it later, but for now, I kind of want to stay in the Chaos Sisters until I get the second Pyromancy unlock for it. which, actually, I have 7 humanity in the counter, plus 16 there, is 23, I believe. 23, and since twin humanities give you 2, that's another 8. I have just enough humanity crystals, plus what's in my counter, to get the final pyromancy spell. So in my next episode, I'm going to do that. But in the meantime, I'm going to warp back to the bonfire, make my way back to Firelink Shrine. It's actually a tiny hike, so that's where I'd like to start my next episode. Screw it. I'll start my next episode here. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later.